2, 3. We want to welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hello.
Yes, Mom, glad you're close to Dad today. And we have Hantie. Yes, always great to have you. Well, with a lot of stuff in the world today, we have this. You guys were part of the 60s where protests were quite a bit to show the government or show whatever that you're not happy with something.
Displeasing.
And you do have the right to do a peaceful protest.
Right.
And that is your right. That's a constitutional right. But the question today is, when does that get out of hand? When does a protest get out of hand? Where it goes beyond a protest to something else? Because you're seeing some strange stuff where unfortunately people's lives are being taken and it doesn't look right and stuff. And this is a lot of crazy stuff happening right now. But you guys are part of the 60s, peaceful protest. But from your standpoint, when does a protest get out of hand?
Now I don't know what it's 67, the year we were married. Rioting going on, and it was a terrible riot going on in Detroit. I can't recall what the reason for that riot was, but to burn, to disrupt and destroy buildings and everything, I'm against that. So I anything that's going to be tear down and dismantle whatever and do the destructive work, it to me is wrong.
And I feel when we have a peaceful protest, there's no, and it's not bothering anybody. We have that right. We become disruptive. Like that woman who was a senator, and this guy got up and sprayed something on him.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Omar.
Anyhow, that was very disruptive and very
it can be considered harmful, because the moment you spray or spit or anything on somebody, they can turn to a different kind of offense.
Right, and then that could have been acid or anything
dangerous.
That would be very dangerous. Spray on the woman, but fortunately it was only something minor like vinegar. But anyhow, the man should have been arrested. Now, if he would have waited outside and with his little sign, and not bothered anybody, just say whatever he had to say, that's a different story. But when you step on her grounds and you cause a disruption, then that is wrong.
Yeah, so you can protest on the street, but when you go to someone's private property, that's a little bit too much. Or you go, going to church and you impeding church service, that's disruptive.
What is the definition of protest anyhow?
Well, the definition of a protest, just so people know, so we can get the context. A protest is a statement of action expressing disapproval or objection to something.
Okay.
Okay. So an organized public demonstration expressing strong objection to an official policy or course of action. So if you feel something is not right, you have the right to carry a sign and say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
It's a written declaration that I am not happy with this.
Right.
And you have that right. The problem you have is that when it goes too far, right? When it's damaging to people's property or destruction or trying to, intention to cause harm to somebody, like that's when it gets a little too much. And you have people trying to stop demonstrators because it's like they affect. And you saw a lot of that in the 60s when they turned to police dogs. Just peaceful protest. You're just protesting.
And they were protesting in the streets.
Yeah.
In the streets. And the street is a public property. Now, our nation was really founded by protestors.
Yes.
The Boston Tea Party. Where you had, the colonists dressed up as Native Americans, getting on board a ship and throwing tea, which was available at that time, overboard into the ocean. That was wrong. But that was the foundation of America. And the War of 1812.
Mm-hmm.
That's another example of how here we in the United States we protested against England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen, unfortunately. And like I said, you guys experience them. Sometimes, you had to partake in some, especially when you're talking about someone's civil rights being, not, taken advantage of. You need to protest against those things, right? Especially as a Christian. Because I think for a lot of Christians, and this is the hardest question. Um, as a Christian, some people say we shouldn't partake in protests.
Hmm.
Um,
So
I've
just
always looked at it as, if
we
you
should
see
say
something wrong, do something about it.
it's
Don't be silent about it because, I believe that God is judging you by your inaction.
Mhm.
If you see something wrong, do something about it. Feed somebody, take care of somebody. Hantie, what are your thoughts on this?
I had a whole lot of thoughts. My first thought was the about when does it not a peaceful
Mhm.
protest? Yes, I was back in the '60s.
Mhm.
I was just born.
We'll take that.
that pipe
Oh,
dream.
she meant born again.
Yeah, that's right. Um, when they burned flags
Mhm.
um, to show
They're just
I'm upset with so and so and so and so.
Mhm.
Um, and I thought that was awful.
Mhm.
How do you burn a flag?
Mhm.
United States flag. How do you do that? And now we come to 2026
Mhm.
and we see a different kind of protest,
Mhm.
but there are different kinds of offenses,
Mhm.
uh, being hurled at
Mhm.
at citizens.
Mhm.
Um, and what was in my mind was, how angry do you have to get to leave your home and go down and protest?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I ain't leaving my house.
Well, Dad, you were part of the Million Man March to say, hey, you know what? And it was a peaceful protest. Nobody was harmed, nobody was killed or anything like that. But America needed to change at that time frame of how they
Mhm.
treat, and
Who was the president then?
Bush, I believe it was. Was it Bush?
Okay.
A million black men, whatever. And I remember when you said, enough is enough. It's time to make another stand. And I remember you going there to make a statement. And how did that feel, Dad, when you made that statement?
It felt empowering
Hmm.
because so many of us feel that we have no power,
Yeah.
no voice, and they're not listening to us. And
But it
as
was peaceful.
it was peaceful, it was very
Hmm.
peaceful. In
Hmm.
fact, there were policemen around everywhere you went,
Hmm.
but they never bothered us,
Hmm.
and we never bothered them.
Hmm.
And we had flags and everything, and all of that, and they had speeches, but
Hmm.
it was a peaceful protest. Now, there is a difference between a peaceful protest
Hmm.
and a protest that is violent,
Yeah.
not only disruptive, but violent.
Hmm.
And that's I don't go along with violence at
Yeah.
all.
And that's something that I was taught in life not to be a violent person.
Yes.
Mhm.
A lot of people want to try to put violence on you or try to get you, incite you to do violence a lot of times or get you out of character.
Mhm.
They want to escalate a situation. They don't know how to de-escalate it. But I just thought those were interesting because like I said, in 1963, something amazing happened. The March on Washington during a time where you could be killed for making a peaceful statement about treating me equal.
Mhm.
President Kennedy got shot that year.
Mhm.
So
And the thing was that a lot of those protesters during the 60s, when you have police dogs turned on the protesters,
mhm,
we had fire hoses turned on the protesters that were peacefully marching.
Yeah.
Now that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
You know, and people since they're getting rid of education here, the March on Washington was for jobs and freedom, was held on August 28, 1963. It was a pivotal event in American civil rights movement advocating for racial equality and economic justice.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. 250,000 people, participants on the National Mall,
We saw it.
just to have freedom.
Oh, the picture.
Just to say, you know what, I have the right to vote in all
Mm-hmm.
50 states. What people don't understand is I'm the first generation that legally has the right to vote in this country out of my ancestry. You guys were born that you did not have rights in every state to just vote. Y'all think about that?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
I just want you to think about it. You guys, are phenomenal of what you guys had to endure.
Mm-hmm.
You endured a whole lot. You've seen a whole lot of ugly. And when you see ugly coming back in the droves that it is, you know what I'm saying? For a lot of us, we believe that these are the last days coming. Jesus is coming soon. If you don't know about that, look in Revelation, folk, and Daniel. It talks about Jesus coming soon. And there's other parts of the Bible that also talk about this. Um, but, final thoughts on this one before I let everybody go. Um, Folk, when you see something wrong, say something, do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be mean about it. Sometimes you may have to step in the way to do something, whatever the case may be. Let's just hope that does not have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Call for some authority or something like that. But at the end of the day, standing around and just letting something just go for the sake of whatever, you're being convinced that, hey, this is okay. And then one day when it happens to you, you'll get mad. So let's look out for each other. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure everyone has an opportunity to sit at the table, have an opportunity, folk, in these times that we have. So until next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks. Bye.
Bye.